Hello, everyone. How are you doing out there? Hope you're having a great week. We are officially at Hump Day, and by the time this show airs and ends, we will be over the hump. And it has been an interesting week thus far. But in case you don't know, I am Lee Black. I am the host of Real Talk for Real Men, and this is a live edition on Wednesdays. So we're going to be off and running. Let me bring in my co-host, and we'll see what the night brings, because this is live and real and in real time. So I got Tasha Mack from Memphis happening. What's going on, sweetheart?
What's going on, Black? How are you?
I am. I'm okay. I've had a decent day, but I'm glad that it's Hump Day, and as I said, I'm glad we're kind of getting over that. How about yourself? How are you doing out there this evening?
I'm all right. Just a little tired. That's all.
That I agree. It's been interesting, very tiring, but at the same time, not a bad day for me. But you really
All
are
right.
tired. You are
I'm tired.
yawning and everything. Hey, I understand. So look, we don't know what's gonna happen because, as I mentioned, we're literally in the dog days of summer. So
Mm.
it's a lot going on for folks. Kind of either some are preparing for summer vacations, dealing with kids around the house now, out
Mm.
of school, and planning trips, and the weather is changing. It's just an interesting time right now. So if you don't know, please subscribe to my channel. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook under Real Talk for Real Men. I am also still a part of the TFG platform of shows. So if you look for TFG, you can also find my content, and in particular, I usually chime in on Ratchet News. So TFG Ratchet is where you can typically find me. So McMack, let me tell you real quickly what I want to talk about. And I
Okay.
don't know if we're going to get there, but that's the goal. So with the weather changing and all of things going on, I started thinking about an episode of Seinfeld where they called it was the summer of George, you know,
Hmm.
and George was going to set out that one of the characters, George was going to set out to make the most of his summer. And I started thinking that's kind of the journey of where I am at this point, that I'm in a place where I'm ready to step out and kind of do some things differently. And I've been talking to you about this, you know,
Hmm.
and sharing with you that I've got to get out of my shell. And I've got a few things on the horizon that's got me thinking about, dating tips, but finding the right person, because in many ways I am ready to meet someone, but it has to be right person, right situation. And so I've got a lot coming up as well. That's why I wanted to announce to the viewers next month, we're going to be off the entire month of July. Real Talk will be on hiatus. And, I started thinking about, regular shows or whatever. People take the summer off. They take them summer
Right.
vacations. What's going on, Kenny from Sports Hustle? How you
Come
doing,
on,
my brother?
Kenny.
And so I wanted to really do the same because I want to come back refreshed. But I've got a few trips coming up. Tasha and I, we are taking our own epic journey coming up here, not in the summer, but it's coming up in the fall. So both of us, we're trying to get out, do some things differently, explore. And also I will tell my business. I won't tell anybody else's business. Grown woman, don't try me, says, hey Tosh, hey Lee, hey Kenny, what's going on? I
No,
love
that's
how
right.
she said, I love the title. Don't try me.
Yeah.
She said that's the mood she's in. I love it. And Kenny saying hello, CC. What's going on? Miss Carol, that's the super fan to the show. We appreciate that. Super viewer always tuning in. But yeah, for me, I'm even going to be moving from all this fabulousness. So I don't know where I'm going right now. So I've got a lot going on, just needless to say the least. But the topic I wanted to kind of talk about dating tips for finding the right person. And I'll ask a simple question. And Tasha and I may be on two completely different journeys. And I don't even know if we're going to get any other family members. If we don't, we'll chit chat for a few minutes and then, we'll shut it down. So, Tasha,
Hmm.
for you, are you even in the realm of thinking of entertaining dating anytime soon?
Not that I can think of, not immediately.
Okay,
It's not at the top of my list. It's not at the forefront of my mind.
gotcha,
If I were to organically meet someone, then I'm not saying like I would necessarily like shut it down, but I'm not seeking it.
gotcha. Um, Grown woman says, "You guys deserve a vacation. Thank you so much." Yeah, we
Mhm.
definitely do.
Thank
It's been a grind.
you.
So for me, I don't know necessarily if I'm seeking it, like I'm not putting all my efforts, but I'm welcome. I'm at this stage where I'm welcoming it. And
Mhm.
one of the things that, I've talked to Tasha about behind the scenes is, and Tasha helped me realize this, I miss people in some ways. Tasha doesn't, in any way. I do miss people in some ways. Now, I don't miss the hustle and bustle of working in an office environment. But I do think at this stage of my life, I do miss some form of contact with people. I just don't know what that looks like right now. So I'm definitely not looking to go back into an office. I'm definitely not looking for the club scene. I'm not a church goer. So I've been discussing with Tasha and my sister and my trusted nephew, who's my close friend behind the scenes, of what is it that I can do to get out there to mingle and find somebody for my right situation. So I want to read something to you. And again, even though you're not in that place, Tasha and Carol, you're watching, whoever's watching, you're welcome to chime in on this. It says simply, it says, for many of us, our emotional baggage can make finding a right romantic partner a difficult journey. Perhaps you grew up in a household where there was no role model of a solid, healthy relationship, and you doubt that such a thing even exists. Or maybe your dating history consists only of brief flings and you don't know how to make a relationship last. You could be attracted to the wrong type of person or keep making the same bad choices over and over due to an unresolved issue from your past. Or maybe you're not putting yourself in the best environments to meet the right person, or that when you do, you don't feel confident enough. I wanted to read that paragraph in its entirety because there was so much in there that had little sprinkles of truth for me and my situation. And I wish we had more family members on the panel to talk about it. But of course, I got to ask you, since you're here, Tasha, do you find any of those as valid reasons for maybe what's held you back, or it got you even to this place? Curious.
I'm sorry, my phone keeps cutting in and out, so I'm missing like a lot of what you said. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so look, let me read that again. That's okay. Okay. Oh, we do have family members popping in. What's going on, little sister?
Mhm.
Oh,
How you doing?
bye.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We're talking about dating tips for finding the right person. And I read a paragraph. I'm going to reread it. But Kenny chimed in initially. Kenny says, "I'm at a point when I would like. I'm thinking," he said, "where I would like to meet someone special. So I guess that means I got to jump in this crazy dating scene." And me and my brother, we're in the same place. And I love how he put that. I don't know where I fit in the dating scene anymore. And there's so much going on out there that's probably over my head. And as I said at the top of the show, I don't go to church. I don't work in an office environment. I'm over clubbing. So I'm really at a real loss about where to go at this stage, but I do feel like I need some kind of contact. After I read the point, Kenny says so much truth in that article. So I'm going to read it again because Tasha was having some issues hearing it, and Hannah,
Mhm.
you've just joined. So I
I
want to read this. So yeah, grown woman, don't try me says, "Hey." So let me read this again. It says, "For many of us, our emotional baggage can make finding the right romantic partner a difficult journey. Perhaps you grew up in a household where there was no role model of a solid, healthy relationship, and you doubt that such a thing even exists. Or maybe your dating history consists only of brief flings and you don't know how to make a relationship last. You could be attracted to the wrong type of person or keep making the same bad choices over and over due to an unresolved issue from your past. or maybe you're not putting yourself in the best environments to meet the right person, or that when you do, you don't feel confident enough. So, Tasha, did it come through that time?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So, my question, even though you're not actively seeking anybody or anything, what's going on, Brenton? How you doing, my brother? My question though is there any sprinkle bits of truth in there for you as to maybe why you feel like you feel or how you got to this place, or does none of that resonate with for you?
I can honestly say that none, where a lot of it is true. I'll say that, but none of it resonates for me right now because I'm not actively in the dating scene, and I'm not necessarily, like I said, I'm not necessarily looking to be in it. I'm not going out with anyone, but it's not because I don't think there's someone out there. So I'm
Hmm.
not saying that there's, like there's no one out there. So I'm not pulling myself from that. It's just that it's just something I just don't want to do right now.
Right. Now, does any of those things it mentioned, several things was in there, are they contributing factors to why you're at this place? None for you.
No, no.
Okay, so
Mm-mm.
Hannah, you can weigh in on this because again, you're married, and you're even more to say that I'm sure you got single friends. There, what like Kitty said, there's so much of it for me that's got me here. I could speak to several of those things. I used to brag that I didn't have any baggage. I don't. I got a lot of baggage. You know, it
Yep.
it it may not be the traditional baggage
Hmm.
that bars people from being in a healthy relationship. Like I have a job, and I have transportation. I think I'm fairly intelligent. I got a good sense of humor. I think I'm a good people person. So my baggage, I haven't been burned so that I don't have any of that type of baggage. But there's some other things in that statement that really resonated with me. Even the very first one, I didn't grow up in a household where I saw a solid, healthy relationship. And you know how you get older and you reach a point where you wonder now aloud how much of that impacted the decisions
Mm,
I made because I really never saw it. And I think in this family, you guys have heard me talk about my brother-in-law, Harold Clark Sr., was my first real example of seeing what a husband and a father look like and
mm.
seeing a family environment because I didn't grow up in that. So I don't want to monopolize the whole conversation. So guys, please feel free to jump in. But that's a big one for me. Then it talks about or your dating history consisting of brief flings. Oh my God, where do I even begin with that? I don't even know if what I've done over the last 15 years could even be called flings. It was just fuck sessions. Uh,
I was gonna ask that. Like, do you think that, like, would you say that your dating was a series? If you look at your dating history, not your fucking history, your dating history,
okay.
what were you actually dating? Like,
No,
was it
no,
okay? Yeah.
no. And that's why it's funny how you get to this place in life where you know what, Tasha, to answer that
Mhm.
question, I never really knew how to date somebody.
Mm,
To look back on it now, I've always had the so-called toxic view that the aim was not so much to get to know the person, it was to fuck. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And so I don't have a healthy dating history. Brenton says, I believe dating is harder the older you get because people are more set in their ways the older they are. Brenton, you ain't never lied, my brother. You ain't never lied. And therein lies part of, I think, what's held me back because I have settled into this place. What's going on, Be Wet? How you doing, my brother?
How y'all doing?
Yes, sir. And so I've settled into this place, brother Brenton, that I don't. I've talked to Tasha about this off camera. You guys need to understand this. I said that I don't know that I'm capable of even sustaining a girlfriend at this stage. What it costs, what it takes, I'm having to relearn this. So Tasha, no, I don't have a good, healthy dating history. To be honest with you, my wife, we were seeing each other in secret, and I looked over in the middle of an episode of Arsenio Hall and said, "You want to get married?" And that was it.
Oh.
Other situations I was in, Tasha, I never
Mhm.
dated. I never really, I never really dated where in the traditional sense how the butterflies and I never, the closest thing I had to that was a young lady that I fell in love with over the phone without seeing her, but I fucked her the very first night. You know what I'm saying? So
You
anyway, I,
do you think that all this time that you've been without being in a relationship, do you think that your instincts would tell you to do the opposite of what your brain is telling you to do? Like, okay, I know it's different out here. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Like, are you willing to, like be open,
great
to do
question.
the complete opposite?
So the last thing it says, maybe you're not putting yourself in the best environments to meet the right person, or that you don't feel confident enough. I never in a million years would have thought that confidence would be an issue for me, and it is.
Mm,
I'm honestly not confident at this stage that I know the right thing to do,
Oh.
because I know what my instincts will tell me, Tasha. But do I trust that that's the right thing to do? I'm truly in no man's land here. So, no, I don't. I want to read a couple of comments. Kenny says,
mm,
the one that resonates for me is that part of putting myself in the right environment to meet someone. And if I do, man, this is my Tasha, you always call us Capricorn brothers or whatever. He
the
says, I
creepy
don't feel
Capricorn crew. Yeah.
confident. And again, I hadn't read this before I said what I said. He said, I don't feel confident. And he put it in all caps that it will turn into something meaningful because of the past. Kenny, my brother, I wish he was on the show, because that's very, very much a part of where I'm at. He added past disappointments. Oh man, my brother, we in the same place. Brenton says people confuse dating with monogamous relationships. Wow,
Hmm.
wow, interesting point.
That's a good point.
Interesting point. So anyway, uh, brother and sister Hannah, again, y'all have done all of this. Y'all dated, and it culminated in the ultimate prize. You found each other. What do you add to this for people like me who I'm lost? This is a show I'm doing because y'all missed the beginning. This is the summer of Lee. I'm trying to step outside of my shell, and I'm going to move from this apartment. I've got a lot of things coming up. I told Tasha, I told my sister, I miss people in some respect. So I've got to get back out, but I don't feel confident getting out there. And some of those feelings is personal. My parents, my weight, I've been out of the dating scene for a long time. So I'm being completely vulnerable here. I'm not bullshitting. I'm being really honest. What can you guys offer people like me in this situation? Tasha's not looking. I do want to find somebody, but I don't even yet know what that is. What can you guys offer us?
First of all, it's crazy out here now because my sister is dating and the stuff she is telling me, I'm like, what? But I do know, like when we got together, I had baggage. We all have it. No one can say they can't, but is if you want to keep carrying your baggage or do you want to let it go to explore other options? So I think sometimes the hardest part is we prejudge a situation and a person prior to being with this new person because we already have it in our mind. Like Brenton said, the older we get, we're set in our ways. And we already have in our mind how the situation is going to end. So we kind of come in prejudging what it's going to be. So I feel like sometimes, not saying let your guard down. I don't recommend everybody just bust out with your guard down because that's crazy. But just try to just go into it with an open mind, but have a little, keep your guard up, but not at the forefront as much, because sometimes it can ruin something that could possibly be something good because we already go in thinking it's going to be negative from the jump. Because that was me. I had negative thoughts. Like my mom and dad got divorced when I was young. She was married to my stepdad for 20 some odd years, but it wasn't a good marriage. So I kind of had to figure that when I got married, it was good, then it wasn't. So I kind of didn't know. I didn't really have good examples. Like my grandparents and stuff were together, but I didn't really have good examples around me. So I had to make my own. I had to stop looking at other people and other things I've been through and just make my own memories and figure it out on my own.
I love it. I appreciate that. Brother B, you want to add anything?
Um, yeah, I would say that what you would have to do is you do have to have a level of vulnerability, but not to a point where you leave yourself fully exposed. I say that for a reason because of the fact that it's human nature that you're going to be protective of your heart and protective of your emotions, of your feelings. That's just how the way we're built. Nobody wants to be hurt, and especially keep going through that repetitive cycle of being hurt. So yeah, when you do, if you do see somebody that you're interested in, you do have to lower your guard just a smidget, but not to a point where you're overly exposed, because there still has to be a point where you got to have that type of total trust in a person in order for you to really let your guards down and really let yourself, in a way, in a sense, like kind of be a little bit more freer with that person. You know, it's really a tough dynamic because especially how the way things
More
are.
than you know. More than you know.
Yeah, it's really tough. And the only thing I can do is I'm I'm not living vicariously through my friends. It's just the fact that from what they're telling me, as
Right.
far as what they're going through and what's out there, it's just right now it's just slim pickings. That's on both sides. I'm not talking about a man, a woman
I
from
agree.
no,
I
I'm talking
agree.
about
No,
both sides.
I agree. I agree. I think it's rough out there, which leads me to the next topic. And Brenton brings up a good point heading in that direction, because I want to talk about the obstacles that I think stand in the way of me doing what you guys say, dropping that veil of protectiveness and showing any level of vulnerability because of just how tough it really is out there. Brenton says one of the dangerous things that affect dating is the lack of patience people
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
I
true.
don't disagree with you, Brother Brenton, at all. But here is where that for me becomes a part of the obstacle. Are people really patient anymore? Because is it just me that's in that microwave state? Because if you don't come to somebody ready made with having the money, willing to spend, willing to go, willing to do, how patient are is she going to be with me? Because that's part of the journey for me. Because again, I mentioned I don't go to church, so I'm not gonna meet anybody there. I don't go to clubs, I don't even do sports bars. So even finding the right environment that me and Kenny was just talking about is one of the obstacles right off the bat. So Britton goes on to further say people are either in a hurry to have chemistry or they like the person so much that they won't take their time. It's inconvenient in a time where everything is about convenience. Ooh, I like that. I really like that. I like a lot about what you said in there. They're one either in a hurry to have chemistry, or they like the person so much that they won't take their time. So, Brenton, what's the right balance then? Kenny says very true, and so you're spitting some truths. And again, this is Brenton from the Brenton Haynes show, and this is somebody who's navigated those waters. He's in a marriage with children, been together for years. So again, there's no such thing as a perfect relationship, but he's doing it. And I admire people who have been able to stick to it. And I wasn't able to keep my marriage together. So I want to include you in this, Tasha, even though you're not looking. What are some obstacles you think are out there? And Hannah and Bert too. What do you, as you see it, what are the obstacles you guys think are out there that keep people from finding finding what you have, finding a healthy relationship? What are some obstacles that you see? Anybody? Because I can tell you
I think
many of them of mine.
I think one of the main things is I think people are overthinking it. They're making it way more complicated than what it needs to be. We're men, we're women. We are going to connect. It just you may just connect with people on different levels at different times. But I do think right now people are overthinking it, which leads to my second obstacle, social media. I think the bad voices are too loud, and so they're drowning out like
Oh
the
wow.
regular people. Because I do think that you can find someone in the places that you say that you don't go to, or just even out and about. There's a lot of women that are saying that you can meet them in regular places, at the grocery store, at Target, you know uh fucking Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshall. They're there. They are there. They usually just go and get their stuff and go back in the house, but they're there. So I think social media though is making it is adding fuel to it by making it unnecessarily difficult. And then I think too, the overall, like, the variety. There's so many available, and I think sometimes some people are back to the overthinking things. They're overthinking the person. They're trying to pick just the right one, so that, oh, you fit this aesthetic in my life, or you'll fit
Mm,
here, you'll fit there,
mm.
instead of just truly just being honest with themselves. So
I love so much about what you said.
I
And she's Tasha. We've talked about this off camera as well, because again, but the fear, Tasha, and that is I never this didn't used to be a thing, but I don't know how to approach someone anymore because that wall is up in that Home Goods or whatever. If I walk in that place and to get shot down, or you said about the aesthetic,
mhm.
so somebody looking me up and down and judging me in that moment because I got on sweats and a t-shirt. There's a popular TikTok or social media thing where the guy walks up to all these girls and he says, well, judge my drip from 1 to 10 or whatever. And 9 times out of 10, they're giving this guy 8 and above. I don't think I've ever seen anybody say he was a 7. They say
that
he's
is
8
not
or
your that is not your
no,
age
no,
group
no,
that
no,
you
no.
should
But
even be
I
looking at.
agree. And so I agree. But here's the point I'm making to that is that I don't know how to dress anymore because I watch that and I say to myself, if that's an 8 or a 9, I'm never going to be an 8 or a 9 because I would never wear that. So even for my age group, Tasha, I work from home. I mean, I don't even know what's fashionable anymore. So even if I walk into a Home Goods or wherever they are at, that's my fear of even approaching them. That with what I have on, I don't know what the stylish shoes are anymore. And if I did, I'm not going to buy them anyway. You know, and so it's that fear of being judged immediately. So and again, if I was to approach them and she said the wrong thing, I'm gonna cuss that bitch out.
see,
That's gonna be my first impulse.
Why
I'm just
why
I'm just being
why you
honest.
gotta go curse somebody out?
that's where we go left.
I'm
So
just
quick to
so
violence.
I'm trying to get past. Look, let me read a couple of comments because Hannah, I know you got something to add to this. Uh Miss Carol says nobody wants to tell their truth and they expect more than they are willing to give. Whew, I think there's a lot of truth to that as well. Brenton says people learn by being taught, and the endurance needed for a long-term relationship is not attractive anymore. I absolutely agree with that. And I don't even think people. One of the obstacles, Brenton, is I don't necessarily. I could be wrong, but this is how I see it. I don't think people are in it for the long term. You know, I think they are in it for the short-term benefits and gains, which again is an obstacle for me to open all the way up to somebody that I famously touched it. I know you're gonna chime in when I'm gonna say this, you
Mhm.
know, but I famously said, even when you feel like you represent it, like I mean, when I know that I have beat that pussy correct, you know, and stop it. But even then, like you're now the notch on that person's belt that okay, now they're ready to move on. So to Brenton's point, I don't necessarily know that they're looking for anything more than that. Why am I preparing a dinner when she just want to come in here and eat some crackers and fuck?
I think that that's because the person that's two different type of people that you're looking for, and I think you're mistaking their categories. I think you got them swapped. You know, you don't cook for the one that wants to eat crackers and fuck. You just bring them in and fuck, and you move on. You don't try
You
to
group
start a
everybody
relationship with
together.
them.
What you say, Hunter?
It seemed like you group everybody together. You think everybody is the same. That everybody
You're
is.
right. You're right.
There are people who just want cheeks
You're
and
right.
people who want to eat.
You're
So
right.
I think
No,
you just
you are right.
all
I'm
your
not
people.
even denying that. You're right. You're right.
But I'll say something. I'll piggyback over what Tasha said about social media. I also think the other side is people look at so many other people relationships that they see that it might only be rose colored glasses. You're not looking
Hmm.
through a lens that they just do it for aesthetics, and they'll comment like, "Oh, I want that." So they'll just go
True.
out and look for that person just for that one thing or clip they saw 5 seconds on social media, not knowing what goes on when that camera's down or right before that happened. So I feel like they go in wanting that one thing. If they don't have it, they're not trying to see the other part of the person that they didn't, that they're not look that they thought they saw on somebody else's relationship.
I agree a
I
thousand
feel like
percent.
social media is detrimental to a lot of relationships nowadays. Back then,
I agree, and
people
that's
don't court.
now that's not one of my issues. You
Yeah,
know,
but no, people
uh,
don't court anymore.
that again. So that's definitely not one of my issues. I know social media is entertainment. It's fun. It's not real. So I'm not. I don't fall into that trap. But to your point, I do group women all in that category. You know, and so I don't know that that's going to be a challenge for me to stop. Kenny says one of the biggest obstacles I've observed is the debate on who's been hurt the most and the venomous attack of the sexes, specifically black men versus black women. It's definitely a war going on, brother Kenny. I can tell you in that sense. And look, I wish I could just wave a magic wand and say we've all equally gone through some shit. But yeah, but Kenny, I don't know if that debate's going to end anytime soon because this is how I see it. I think women are sitting at the top of the food chain right now, and you know, I'm almost waiting for that pendulum to swing back the other way a little bit, and so we're at the mercy of again. That's why Tasha, to your point, I'm at the mercy of if I see somebody in a grocery store, if I see somebody and I'm out running an errand, how do I approach them? That's where my confidence is lacking because to your point, Hannah, I'm grouping them all in the same thing. I don't know if it works anymore to tap a woman on the shoulder. Can you even fucking touch somebody anymore? To even say, excuse me, because if I don't know if I should be respectful, hey, look, I just saw or should I just, because again, how was that perceived? you know, or are they looking for me to say, like, look, so what's up? Or I don't. I used to really be in my zone. I'm so out of it. I don't know what the zone is anymore.
Black, you overthinking.
Way
You
Tasha
over
says
there.
that. Tasha says that.
you really overthinking this thing right now. I get where you come from.
Help me.
I totally understand where you coming from. But at the end of the day, whether you're able to tap a woman or that's not the thing to do, you still got to use your words. at the end of the day, and you still got.
I thank you for saying that.
You still just got to say what you got to say, whatever's on your heart. You know what I mean? Now, if that person is not receptive of it, don't mean that it's you. It could be them. They could be equally as hurt themselves, and that's just the minefield that has to be navigated as of right now. You know, some people out there are going to be hurt, and you got the best intentions, and you could come with the best game. I seen the best of them get shot down, and it's not that they said that was wrong. It was just the fact that that woman's not in the place to receive anything at that time, or that guy's not in the place to receive anything from that woman at that time because of whatever they went through. They might not be able to express that in a certain way to that person, like, hey, listen, thank you, but no thank you. Not everybody is going to be the same. But at the end of the day, your confidence has to be to a point. Remember back with young boy black, guess what? If somebody shot you down, what you gonna do? You're gonna move on to the next one. Hey, listen, that's your you lost out on that.
I love
so go ahead
you're right.
And move on, and then somebody's gonna want to be with me. Somebody's gonna want to kick it with me. So that's the way you gotta go out. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta get back to that point. You know, I've got to get back. Be wet, you killed it, man. But you know where my brain is right now is I saw a young lady today, you know, and again she had a fat pumping ass now. So of course, you know that was the first.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Hold on.
I was gonna say something about that.
Hold on. Obviously, that was the first thing that attracted me.
Booty.
You like what you see.
Yeah.
So Tasha, hold on, baby, hold on. That was the first thing that attracted me. And my thing was, as I kind of walked around a little bit, and my thing was, but watching her, she had such a cool way about her, just watching from a distance. But I was again reluctant to go up. Number one, I didn't like what I had on. I was just rushing to the store real quick. So to your point, brother B Wet, my confidence, and again, in the old days, I would have went up and said something, but I truly feel like I might have would have. First of all, I don't know what I would have said, but you know, I might have would have cursed her. So go ahead, Tasha, go on and blast me out.
What?
Now wait a minute, because this is what I wanted to say, and I was gonna say it a minute ago. I know you. When you see a fat ass, maybe don't lead with that out loud. Don't say, because you be saying
I'm
it out
not
loud
gonna
when
say
you're
it.
calling me. You be saying it out loud when
No,
you're on the phone.
I'm talking, but I'll be talking to you like. But I'm saying that is what catches my attention. Oh my God!
Don't say it, and don't gawk. Don't be weird. Don't be creepy. Don't be weird. Like, notice it. Of course, you're gonna notice it. But maybe, like if you see that you keep ending up like on the same aisle, or if you see that she is holding something, even if you don't think it looks good, ask her, hey, have you tried that before? Something simple, just to open the conversation. But definitely don't curse the bitch. What was you gonna say to her?
Right? Like,
I'm talking about cursive. If they try to, okay, this clearly shows I am not the only one. My Capricornian brother from another is in the same. We in it, love, and I promise you, we're not by ourselves. He said, "I know I can overthink situations," and so I'm glad I'm having this conversation, and that's what I'm being honest and real. And I hear what you're saying, Tasha. I really do. I really do, and I appreciate it. And Be Wet, man, you're spitting it right now. But I can't help what I noticed, Tasha. That's what attracts me.
Yeah,
that is. I look at that before I even look at their face.
That's fine. Don't say it out loud. That's all I'm saying. Just don't say it out loud.
No, I wouldn't. So okay, I'm not going to go up to her and say, "Ooh, you got a fat pumping ass."
No, not even in passing. Don't mutter it out loud at all.
That's hard,
Tasha.
That's hard to keep that in.
That makes you, that automatically puts you in the creepy category. Automatically.
Tasha, that's hard to.
No, when you get to your car, you can say it as loud as you and as much as you want to. Don't say it out loud in the store if you want to say something to her. Don't say it out loud.
Agreed.
Okay, so y'all give me some things to think about.
I'm telling
you. Which brings me to examining some misconceptions about dating and relationship. So there's a few myths that I wanted to kind of throw out at the family. And I read them, and I thought they were just good to have a conversation about. Because again, on a serious note, I'm taking this serious, even though I'm listening, I'm laughing. but I am trying to readjust my thinking. To your point, Be Wet, I am trying to get back to that place where I walked out with that. There was a time when I walked out. It wasn't that I knew I was the shit, but to your point, it was that the odds was always in my favor. That okay, well, shit's doing for cool. I could go to the next person, and I don't feel that confidence anymore. So I've got to get back to that place where I've got to get past. Look, my weight is what it is, but watching the movie Barbershop the other day, the guy said a comment that's true. He said, "There's many big dudes out there getting pussy, you know. So big is not the problem. That's not the problem, you know. I've got to get past that barrier in my own mind. I don't like what I see in the mirror, and I'm working on it. But I don't think appearance is holding me back in that sense, you know. Like I'm fat, but I ain't ugly, and I smell good, and I still got a big dick. So those are things that's working in my favor. So, but anyway, I digress.
Oh,
I digress.
Okay. Kenny says, it's Sundress season 2. Those pumping asses be calling me, man. That's my brother. That's my brother.
But don't answer them in public. They can call. Just don't answer out loud.
Remember, more than 10 seconds is creepy. More than 10 seconds, that women gonna be like, "Yo, what's up with you?"
That is true. 5-second glance.
And this is from women.
Plenty of time.
Plenty
of time. That's plenty of time.
I'm hearing y'all. I gotta process that. It's hard to turn away from that great. That's like you talking about Moses standing on the mountain looking at the burning bush, y'all. You know, I'm sure he didn't look at the burning bush and just bow his head. He said in the Bible, "Let me turn aside and see this great sight." That's how I feel about a fat pumping ass. Is that it's godly, and I must turn aside and see that sight.
That is the definition of blasphemy right there. That is the definition of blasphemy right there. That whole. How do you feel after saying that? How did those words feel after they came across your tongue? How did that feel?
I think it's appropriate that I'm telling. God made woman, and what he did is God's fault. Shit, that you know when you look and you can't just turn aside. And you know, my thing is you're gonna be look, you're talking about 10 seconds. You know how short 10 my thing is I'm taking in the beauty of like, and I'm like, oh my God.
You can take it.
Oh, I'm thinking to myself, that ass is fat as a 3-headed cat. That's what I'm thinking.
This is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay. Didn't they just get ready? Didn't somebody just say that? This is a marathon, slow and steady. Slow and steady.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
So, Black, if she don't have cheeks, you not interested?
Nope, he sure isn't.
No.
You're a cheek guy.
That's going to be a waste of time. Carol says, yes, don't be leering at women, Lee. Personally, it gives me the creeps.
Boom, right there. Creepy.
But don't gaze.
And you're doing it with no sunglasses, just bare eyes too. Creepy. I tell. 911. Somebody get what was the guy's name that used to like pop up like on those pedophiles? What was that guy's name? That's what we need to get on the call right there. Yes, Chris Hansen. Get him on the line right now, okay?
My brother Kenny, he's right. It's sundress season, and here in Atlanta, I went again. I was gonna run to the store, but they are coming out and next to nothing. Oh my God, it is just hard to. Whew, that's a hard one right there.
Well, you can't help it, Lee. You in Atlanta, so it is cheap central in Atlanta.
When I go to New York,
man and woman cheap in Atlanta. So.
You right.
Tasha's true. And this is Gay Black Pride Month. Shout out to my gay viewers. You know, more power to you.
This is National Pride Month. This is for everybody.
Oh, well, this you know, it is there, and it's Pride Month. It's
for everybody.
is everything. Juneteenth.
Oh, I thought when I
Pride
said Pride
Month.
Month is just for gay people. It's for
Yeah, well,
everybody. It's for everybody to be proud.
it's not just for gay people. It's any of the people who identify as anything other.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
Okay.
that's
that.
as much
Okay.
as I can say
Me neither.
without being
Okay.
extra.
Well, look.
I said
Shout
whatever
out
I
to
said without getting canceled. I'm a,
Yeah.
no, and I'm not even joking. I'm being serious.
I didn't know
Shout
that. I
out
thought
to
it was just
shout
for.
out
I didn't know.
to you guys for Pride or whatever. Again, I have no issue with gay or other. So shout out to you for real. Kenny says small cheeks do matter though.
Kenny,
Oh,
focus.
so Kenny said you just gotta have some cheek.
Kenny is still on
Gotta
the
have a
cheap.
cuff, right? Right, kid? Gotta have a little
But he
cuff.
wanted to make sure that y'all understand women
He said
cheeks.
women cheek.
He ain't looking at no men.
He said
He said women.
My brother
women.
said he want
I
to
like
make sure.
women's.
Tasha always cautioned me that when I'm looking, that she said it might be a man.
Be careful. You're in Atlanta.
It is very true. So I want to go through a couple of myths to as I reassess the misconceptions about dating. And this is the very first myth that I want to kind of talk about. This very first one is I can only be happy and fulfilled if I'm in a relationship, or it's better to have a bad relationship than no relationship. That for many of us, that's the sentiment that, you know what? I can only be happy and fulfilled if I'm in a relationship.
No.
Now, I don't feel that. I do miss some companionship, but again, I'm not lonely, and there's something missing for me at this stage. I miss some contact. But now the second part, or it's better to have a bad relationship than no relationship. I've never thought that.
Mm-mm.
I've never ever thought that, because I would in a million times rather be alone than to be in a bad relationship.
You ain't never lie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for
Because you
me,
don't always get to pick the type of bad either that it comes with it. So, and there's levels
very
to
true.
that bad.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It really is. But Tasha, I have been consistent in getting out of a relationship that's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly sit here and tell you that I have zero experience with having my tires cut. Somebody breaking shit in the house, the yelling and the screaming. I've never been in a relationship where that was happening. So I don't, so I don't know anything about that. So I would rather be by myself than before I go through that. Now, to feel fulfilled, there is something missing. There is definitely something missing. I do miss the companionship of a woman. And I'm not talking about just fucking. I'm not even out there right now, folks. I'm really not out there for real, for real. This might surprise a lot of the viewers. I don't miss sex.
What?
Don't miss it.
Blasphemy again.
Don't think about it. Even as I'm looking at that fat pumping ass, I miss the company. Right now, I'm saying to you here today on June the 5th, I don't miss the sex part of it so much, be wet, because I'm at a different place. I really don't. I can go get sex. I can go find somebody for sex. I miss somebody that I actually enjoy being in my space. I truly, truly do. I've gotten tempted. Don't get me wrong. It's late. Sometimes it's the weekend and the weather's just right. And I go out there on the hunt. Or I jump on an old app and think, let me get one of these nasty, filthy, no good bitches over here. But then I rethink it that no. And so I realize I don't miss that part of it. I miss having a great conversation with somebody. I miss sitting up watching YouTube videos with somebody who gets it gets it and who likes the same thing I like. That's the part for me that I miss. Now,
when was the
I'm sorry.
last
Go
time
ahead.
you actually had somebody like that?
I'm sorry.
When was the last time you had somebody like that?
Oh my God. 10 years.
Oh,
10. And see, that's the thing
Longer.
when you put it in perspective,
I think it's been longer than 10 years. Because it's been
what the
longer
reason why I
since
say
I
it
10
wasn't
when
your
I
wife, right? It wasn't your ex-wife, was it?
no, the reason why I say 10 years, I tried to date when I first got here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's right.
So I had a couple of scenarios where I was kicking it with this older chick when I was working at ITT Tech.
All right.
And I didn't know anything about Buckhead at the time, and all she talked about was her business. She owned some little boutique or whatever here in Buckhead at the time, and this, that, and the other. And it was horrible getting off work, meeting up with her, and all she wanted, she drove a little Range Rover, and it was horrible. And I wanted the relationship part. I wanted to let's have a quiet conversation at dinner, but for her, it was always about business and grinding. Then my former friend, uh, Coco, I ended up dating one of her friends, and she was younger. She was a bank teller, but the bitch reeked of weed, and it was just an inconsistent mess. And then she had stalker tendencies.
Oh.
And so to this point, for me, I could see that this was going to be one of those toxic kind of relationships, and I don't do that. I don't do unexpected pop-ups. We're not going to be arguing. I don't do that. And you walking in and you reeking of weed and shit. No. So no. So no. I'd rather be alone. Miss Carol says there's a big difference between being alone and being lonely. And Tasha and I say that all the time. I'm alone, but I'm not necessarily lonely. Tasha, is this the real Lee? What happened? No, I'm serious. Brother Kenny said, nah, I definitely don't feel that. That's why I've been alone for 11 years. I'm looking for the right relationship for me. I do yearn for companionship, though. I think that's why me and Brother Kenny, there's such a camaraderie, because sometimes it's embarrassing to say that out loud and to know that I'm not the only person that's in this situation is somewhat comforting. Kenny says, I can relate to exactly what you're saying, Black, because see, this is a conversation a lot of men won't say out loud, Tasha.
Mm-hmm.
You asked the question at the beginning about dating. There's a lot of us that really don't date.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the traditional sense. Come over and let's kick it. You know what I'm saying? But I suspect there's a lot more people out there that just haven't dated, and whatever they have, it's kind of a conglomeration of hooking up and just giving in to whatever this is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's been 10 years since I've been in a situation, and it goes by quick. You don't know it's been 10 years. It doesn't feel like that till you sit back and you go, well, wait a minute. The last time I even had somebody that I trusted enough to say that, okay, this is somebody I'm with, it's been almost 10 years. That's crazy. Brenton says, but I hope all know that people can still be lonely in a relationship. And man, oh man, oh man, he is right. Marriage in of itself doesn't cure loneliness.
But what I want to say is this. Well, let me ask this. Let me ask this question. Here's the magic question. What are you looking for? Because if 10, 11 years then went by, and I'm not sure what the hurt was or what was going on or what the apprehension was, but 10, 11 years has gone by. 11 years later, what's the deal now? Because what was the deal back then?
11 for Kenny. So long story short, to answer that, 11 for Kenny. He's been doing it longer than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. I moved here, family, with such high hopes. I moved here with every intention of thinking that in addition to this being my new home and I'm excited to be here, and I fell in love with Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here with such high hopes that surely I'm going to be in a relationship, be wet, because my thinking at the time was I knew I was moving to a city that was the black mecca of homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
I inadvertently truly thought, if I get out here and they see that I am a heterosexual male that likes women, oh my God, the floodgates are going to open up and I'll have my pick. Didn't happen that way. What I didn't know until I moved here is that the women, I'm sorry to stereotype, but I'm only telling you my experience since being here. The women have a sense of entitlement that makes them very difficult to deal with. Talking about black women. And two, there is a presumption that
Excuse me.
as a black male that you're gay first and heterosexual second.
In Atlanta or in general?
In Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
There's a presumption that every guy's a little bit gay here or bisexual or whatever here. And three, this is a city, when I'm talking about black women, that aesthetics trumps everything. Everything.
I believe that.
Everything. And that took some getting used to. So if you're not a going 6 days a week going to the gym person, if you don't drive the right car to catch attention, if you don't flash the cards to indicate you got it like that, when I turn in this apartment complex every day, if there's somebody standing there, there are looks because of what I drive. And again, I'm not flashy with it. It's almost like, does he live here or is he visiting? Because I don't exhibit any of the things that make you stand out here in Atlanta. And beware, I wasn't prepared for that. So when you add all those things together, that I'm not a little bit gay. I don't think it's okay to suck a dick.
The way he said it, I'm not a little bit gay.
That's acceptable. That's acceptable here. I don't even exhibit. That's acceptable here. You can, like Tank says, you can suck a dick a few times and still claim
not to be gay.
Whatever. I don't suck dick.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm being as brutally honest as I can. I'm answering this question. I don't suck a little dick. I don't even exhibit any feminine traits. I don't have the outward appearance of success here in Atlanta, and I have a very short patience for entitled bitches. That puts me in a very unique situation to where I don't know where I fit in, Bert. I don't know where I fit in. The building I moved from, I saw the Beverly Hills Housewives, not Beverly Hills, what I'm talking about, Atlanta Housewives. I saw them bitches all the time. They live right down the street. They're hanging out right down the street. I can go to my garage right now. My car is one of the worst sitting out there. I don't worry about anybody fucking with my car. When you got Audis and Mercedes Benzes and Range Rovers and shit sitting there, they don't want to fuck with my little car. And there's a new influx of here in this building of strippers, high-end strippers. And this is not like strippers in other cities. These strippers make 6 figures.
Oh.
Magic City type girls.
These strippers, they're not stripping for these. Not they make 6 figures.
Mm-hmm.
So even though these bitches take their clothes off for money, they look down on me, in a sense, like, bitch, you a hoe, But anyway, I don't, I'm just trying to be cool.
Wait, they
But
making 6 figures just stripping?
God,
Yeah.
yes. God, yes. You got to understand. Yeah, they're in. Oh my God, yes. So they wouldn't look my way because I drive an Altima. And again, I don't have the big face watch on and the big gold chain. When I'm going and coming, I see the guys and how they look and who they're stopping. That's why I said my confidence is where it's at, because I don't, Tasha, y'all making such good points, and I just got to get back to that place where, look, I got to step to them with what I am. But I'm just answering your question, Brother B, that's what I'm facing here. So I didn't come here. I came here thinking I was going to have somebody. If you had told me that moving to Atlanta, that almost 10 years later, I would not be in any, I wouldn't even, I don't even have a situationship. If you had told me that, so you crazy. I would have said you crazy.
For Black, but you know what though? That's not something that you want anyway. I mean, if somebody just looking at what somebody has or something like that,
I don't.
A lot of them boys be going broke. You feel me? You know
and that's the thing. I'm old fashioned.
Trying to put up this yeah,
they
scamming left and right. So some people who you think got like that don't even got it.
Oh no, I know it's all false, but that just it. I don't. What I'm looking for, Tasha made one of the brilliant points. It's unfortunate because the ones making the most noise is the one that's on social media, and that's who you see. And so that's not who I'm looking for. So I've got to, that's why I've been talking to Tasha about getting out and finding the others, going to events like Sip and Paint or, something like that, to where I would meet intelligent women like Tasha, who's educated, articulate, intelligent. We have similar interests. I'm sorry, what you said, McMack?
We in the house.
And okay, to her
We
point,
in the house.
but that's just it. If I could find that person that's okay with being in the house, but does venture out sometimes, because I'm a house person. But they to your point, Tasha, you know what you're told on social media? Don't ask me to come to your house because I ain't coming.
No,
that's not acceptable anymore. That's not even acceptable anymore. That's what social media tell you. So I'm looking for somebody like no disrespect. I don't mean this disrespectful. I mean this as a compliment. But I'm looking for somebody like a Tasha who would say, "Okay, man, he's willing to cook for me." Because if you say that to somebody now, like, no, if you're not taking me out, we're not even getting a chance to get to know you. But social media tells you that that's all that's out there. So I'm trying to venture out to find the others that would be okay with exchanging a conversation and, to your point, maybe talking for a while. But I've talked about this famously. Who even holds a conversation anymore?
True.
Let me read a couple of comments here. Grown Woman Don't Try Me says, and here I thought the women in Atlanta only wanted men with money and didn't care about looks. Looks is everything. This is the most
vain. Yep.
Say it again. Vain. This is the most vain city I've ever been to in my life. Rather than go to church, people go to gyms. They're packed. Every gym. But then you know what? When you go to the gyms, there's an etiquette, because again, I used to belong to Planet Fitness. But if you look to now, maybe it's my fault, because Tasha said if you look more than 10 seconds, then it's creepy. Well, I can't help. That if I'm on the fucking tread machine and you got a fat mo gutna and you bending over, I got to notice that ass. I'm sorry.
Hey, Black, and you know the real ones that had something tied around their waist though.
First of all, that's for protection of your butt, not for y'all to look.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna put it to you like this: we have this discussion all the time when it comes to that. I don't mean to divert from what we actually talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is this: just like a man knows what he wearing and what's going to probably be what you don't get that woman attention.
Right.
Same thing with a woman when you're going up into that gym. You know when you wearing those spandexes and things like that, especially if a man's going to be up in there. I'm not saying you can't wear it. That's the whole thing. Always get wrapped up like I'm saying you can't wear it. You can wear it, but don't think that no eyes ain't going to be peeking over at you from time to time and checking out your cheeks.
Peek, don't gaze.
So that's the thing.
And don't get caught.
Kenny,
That's the part.
Tasha's right. Tasha's right. Kenny says, for me, be wet. The few situationships I've had in those 11 years, they just fizzled out. Inconsistencies in communications and other things. And Carol says, at least an intelligent conversation is what is lacking, not what you have, etc. Miss Carol, I wish that was the case. And here's the crazy part about it. I attract either fat women that I'm not physically attracted to or white women.
Oh. But you don't do white?
I have no problem with interracial dating. Now, because I work from home, these are people that because to Carol's point, I don't get to have a conversation where they can even see my intellect unless it's this, that, and the other. But I got women I work with right now that I could date. I don't have a problem with dating interracially. I'm open to that completely, to be honest with you. But I don't even go anywhere where I meet them, because again, who gets to have a conversation anymore? To where they could even see that, oh shit, I didn't know he knew about this or that. And that's where I know that I have to venture out. Let me tell you, let me be clear. Let me be perfectly clear. As I venture out and I'm trying to do some things differently, I don't give a damn if she got a big red dot in the middle of her head.
Here we go.
You know what? We was doing so good.
No, I'm saying this in the sense that if we connect, we connect. I've never dated an Indian or an African, but if one of them, well, the Africans do have some fat butts, but they're a little too hard for me. But if the Indians chick was to have a fat pumping ass and she's more Americanized, I would fuck with her too. I'm okay with dating outside my race if physically she have what I'm looking for. You got to have a fat pumping ass no matter what. That come before teeth. That ass, you can be missing all your teeth. But you got to have a fat pumping ass.
So she can have no teeth as long as she got cheeks.
She can put in false teeth and then get head with no teeth could be okay too, because I like it soft and wet anyway. That's a whole other thing.
Maybe do the opposite and look at the opposite of what you're used to looking at. Maybe don't find a chick with the fat pumping ass because it ain't working out. Maybe try the chick with the big lips or something. Maybe she got no ass.
Tasha,
maybe she got
there is no way on this earth that
she has the right shape. She just don't have like a big ass.
How's she gonna have a right shape and don't have no ass?
I saw hips with no butt.
You saw who?
No butt.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can't hear. You saw who with no butt?
I saw hips and no butt.
From hips. The front looks like then
you hippie and turn around
like, woo, what happened?
I got to have an ass, cause see
why?
For me, you know what you like.
You right. You want what you want.
You know what you like. My thing is, I'm not a breast man. I'm an ass man. I don't care the length of your hair, your complexion, your race, but you must have your ass has got to be fat as a 3-headed cat. That's what I'm looking for.
Man, I don't know. Shit, I don't know. At this point, I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes when I think we're making progress, you go in a different way, and I'm just like, you know what? Try anything. Hell, the Baskin and Robbins, they got 32 flavors. Shit.
See, Kenny says, "Man, I don't even want to talk about what I attract." Jeez, this is my brother. He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
It's the Capricorn men. It's the Capricorn men.
Me and him are both on Facebook.
What are you attracting, Kenny?
Me and him talked about this. Me and him both on Facebook, and you get these alerts, and you get all excited and shit, and you go, and it's some just bitch that's just like you almost want to look at your phone and go, really,
Y'all rude.
really. Carol says, so you all right with the huge BBL? You know what? I don't care if it's real or fake, but
It could be fake.
yeah, it could be. Oh, I don't give a shit about that.
That's what I'm
It could be fake.
saying. We just all over the place.
It could be
we
fake,
down.
but I don't like the warp sense. Like when it's ridiculous, like you look like a freaking grasshopper.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee, does she have to be a certain age? Is there a certain age bracket that
Yeah, for something serious. Yeah, for me, 35 and up.
Okay.
35 and up.
That
On a serious note, because I would have nothing. There are always exceptions, but in being serious, there would be I can't imagine having anything in common with somebody that's under 35, and it would be hard for 35. My ideal age, I'm 56 years old.
Okay.
My ideal age is about maybe 40 to about 45. That's the sweet spot for me.
Okay.
40 to 45 is the sweet spot for me. That's a grown woman who's likely, if she has children, they're grown, or they're not in the house. She's ready to travel. She can do her own thing. We're going to generally like some of the same things because she knows the same music that I've been through. She's okay. She likely knows how to cook or can appreciate having somebody cook for her. And going out sometimes is okay. So I'm not a homebody. I would love to go places, but not a club. Not a club. I don't want to do a club. The loud music, this, that, and the other. But you know what? Going to a sports bar, jazz, where they playing jazz or something, I'm all for that. Getting dressed up occasionally. But I do want somebody comfortable in their own skin, so that sweet spot for me is 40, 45. But if they're a little younger, but they can appreciate music and things that I could deal with that.
Okay.
So anyway, folks, I know this has been, we definitely got derailed. I went into this conversation all seriousness knowing this was going to be a part one. There's so many more things I want to get to. So next Wednesday, we are going to have a part two because we didn't even get through assessing all the other myths, but I really wanted to go through some actual tips that I found in this article so helpful to talk about. And even though I know we're going off the rail, I want to thank you guys for real, because you're forced. This is not you, but this is forcing me to, sometimes you keep things inside. It's forcing me to say out loud some things that I'm dealing with. Yeah. And that makes it real, because sometimes when you keep it all trapped in, you feel like you're the only person going through this. So to hear Kenny verbalize that and hear Brenton chiming in, and ladies, Miss Carol, Hannah, Tasha, here's the reason why I've always had, my best friends have always been women. I thank y'all. Y'all are brutally honest and calling bullshit on us men and telling us what we need to hear, not what we want to hear. Yeah. And I know y'all think a lot of it's going over my head. I got a lot of shit that I'm working on, but I do hear y'all. I really do. And the beauty of these shows for me is that it don't always stick immediately after the right now. It's one of those things that I get to play back in my head after the show ends and over days that, so that then when I am out tomorrow, damn, they said don't stare. It'll play back in my head to where I can try to.
You're gonna stare.
Try to do. No, I'm not. It's not going to be overnight. I'm not kidding you guys. But I'm saying it'll ring in my head that, okay, maybe you should turn away. But I know it's not going to be overnight. You're asking somebody who fucking likes candy to go in a candy store and not want to buy. And that's the first thing I look at. Well, Tasha, they're everywhere. Look, That's the thing. We're hitting warm weather. I got news for you. I can sit right here, and there's a chick that live on the balcony right there. I sit right here sometimes, and she walk out and next to nothing, and I'm having a conversation, and I think, oh my God. And she's turned around. I'm like, she got a fat Mo Gutno on her. I bet that pussy just as good as it want to be. This is what goes through my brain.
I'm calling security for her.
I'm sitting in my seat, and she's in my clear line of sight. She be in my clear line of sight. Like what the fuck? Am I like how I'm not gonna see it?
I feel you, dog. I feel you can't help
That's
it.
because you cheat check.
You know what I mean? She in front of you. What you going to
She's
do?
not in front of him.
So, okay, so Tasha, in that instance, what I'm supposed to do, go?
You in
So
front
am I supposed to look away, y'all?
and the
Don't.
man,
All I'm saying
he's in
is,
front of
don't
him.
get caught looking. Don't
Just
get.
look.
As soon as you get caught looking, you're
It's creepy.
automatically gonna be. You're gonna be called creepy. So if
But
you
to,
wanna,
but to Bert's point,
true.
you wore that shit out on your balcony. Come on
Ain't
now.
no, oh, Z said to Bert's point. So you agree with this? You agree with this?
Go ahead, brother.
Ain't no, you's a perv.
I'm just saying it's hard to. Kenny says one woman jumped in my DMs who looked like Rasputin.
go on and give her a chance, Kenny. That might be what you need to
Rasputia.
crack open. Just to get the shit going. That might be the one that got the key to Pandora's box for you.
Tasha,
That might be the one that you
Tasha.
need to break up.
How you hearing?
Tasha, how
break
you
it
gonna
down.
find Tasha? How you gonna find Pandora's box under all that blubber?
That might, hey, it might
won't
be
be no
there.
sex
You just gotta look for it a little bit. It might be
No.
there. You just never know.
If I got to hold her stomach up and my stomach up to fuck, we got a problem.
You gotta start somewhere, damn it. You gotta just
We
throw
do not
caution to the
fat
wind. And I thought we were jumping right on in. I thought that's what this was about. I thought that's what y'all was trying to get at.
You still got certain things got to match. You can't put a square peg in a round hole.
You're
How you gonna
overthinking
fuck
it.
her and even be on top? You can't fuck up on the top. You can't fuck
You're
up on the side.
You can fuck her from the back. Why are you overthinking it? You're
How you gonna fuck her from
overthinking
the
it.
back and her ass is all big and you gotta be holding her big cheeks
As
open?
long as you have enough
No.
equipment, then it should
No.
be no problem.
With all that blubber, even if you got good dick, you only getting a tip in because all that shit is blocking it. And then the first thrust you make, it's like riding a wave into her fucking ass and back. Gonna start waving all in. Come on now.
You can't jump out there you can't be without it for so long and think that you're just gonna jump out there and the first person that you see that you really want to have a connection with, that now you're gonna be real nervous because what if you can't perform the first time? You gotta practice somewhere. That's all I'm saying. Gotta get your practice.
I'm gonna say definitively, two fat fuckers ain't got no business fucking. Somebody need to be halfway slim enough. I'm just gonna say we can eat and we can have a good conversation, but we shouldn't be fucking.
I'm about to say y'all can work out and come down together.
It's exercise.
I ain't gonna be waiting that long. And again, the smells and some more shit. No, I'm not gonna be dealing with all that.
You just automatically assuming it's gonna smell.
Why would it smell?
Because any fat woman that I would be looking at, she's probably gonna think she's attractive with a long. She ain't gonna be scrubbing up in her crack like I do.
How you know that?
I ain't even taking that chance.
There's probably a woman just the same as you who's very big on hygiene and everything. She might be big. Why do you assume that about her? You don't want nobody assuming that about you.
Fat women, I'm just gonna tell you right now, we have no sexual chemistry, no sense of even kidding ourselves.
You
might
even
be
trying.
You might. No, I am. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. I'm a fat man. So again, we got to be real. We got to be real. Aesthetically, it's just not gonna work. If my titties as big as her titties, and we both fucking with each other's. No, you talking about a clump of absolute mess. That's an absolute
I'm saying you
mess.
might find out that you just might like titties a little bit. That's all. And
I ain't never been that big fan of titties. I'm an ass man. Now I'm realistic. I'm an ass man. I'm realistic. You don't have to have an ass like a 10-year-old boy no more. So I don't mind. I don't mind if the ass got a little bit of drip to it. The titties can have a little bit of drip. You can even have the balled up homework stomach and shit, as long as it ain't over flapping the pussy and whatnot. You know, you can have the stretch marks and all that kind of stuff. I'm realistic. You know, I
You
can deal
have
with
to
that.
start somewhere.
That's me. That's me lowering my standards and starting
That ain't
somewhere. You
no,
know,
no.
I'm
You
no
have
longer
to start
capable of getting the Coke bottle shape, but damn, you need to still be at least shaped like a bottle, not like a gallon jug. Fuck that.
Tasha,
huh?
now I'm gonna flip this on you. Now, if you was in a situation like that, what would you start off with something like that? A man
What?
version. Like what Lee was
I'm
saying,
not.
like I can't be done with no big women. What would you if you trying to get back out there?
A
I'm
fat
not in
man.
that.
Start with?
I'm not in that situation. We ain't talking about Tasha. We talking about
No,
black.
But he's asking you.
No,
But he's asking
No,
your ass.
we
that's
ain't
not
in
saying.
that
I'm
because
saying
Tasha ain't looking for nobody. And Tasha
No,
ain't in that.
We're
We
not
talking
saying
about
you
black.
looking.
hypothetically,
We're not
if
saying you
were.
looking. But I
Uh-uh.
now here's why I say I know you. You want a man that's going to at least be able to manhandle that pussy and hoist you up in the air.
Yeah, but I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination, he does not have to be no fucking bodybuilder or anything.
I ain't
I'm
saying
very
that.
realistic.
Yeah.
I'm very realistic. You can have a dad bod. I am very realistic. I
Notice
am
what she
not
said, a
looking for-
dad bod, but we're not talking about, I don't have a dad bod. I'm a fat fucker. So we're not talking about a dad bod. And again, ain't no way I'm hoisting no bitches up at this stage of my life. You know, pretty much.
What?
Anyway, I ain't hoisting no bitch up. No.
we and even more to my point, we ain't talking about Tasha. So Tasha don't even need a scenario. Tasha
Kenny
don't need a
says,
scenario.
Kenny says, I'm 185 pounds, Tasha. I'm not trying to ride no roller coaster.
All I'm saying is, Kenny,
That's my
sometimes that the bigger women, that might be just what you need, and you just
No.
don't even know it. That might be what you need.
I agree with you in principle, but you know what you like. You know what you
You
like.
can like shit. You can like a lot of shit. You know, I would like to be the only person on this earth, but don't mean it's gonna
Well,
happen.
damn, Tasha.
I don't need rutabagas.
No,
I don't need rutabagas, so ain't no sense me bringing them in my house.
no.
I know what I like.
You
And
have you ain't tried rutabagas in 10 years.
I don't eat rutabagas.
You
And right now, being that I don't have to eat rutabagas, now you're right. If I get to a point where the only thing I could eat is rutabagas before I starve, but my hope is that when I get to a point where if I gotta fuck Rasputia, you might as well put me 6 feet under.
All I'm saying is this is in all seriousness to you and Kenny, if you both are interested and if you both are looking for someone, I 100% understand having your standards and things. However, maybe that's one of y'all's obstacles because you're already limiting somebody.
I don't disagree.
Like you're already
I really
like
don't. I don't disagree.
you know, checking them off because they're a little chunky, like peanut butter.
I'm okay with a little chunky, but I ain't talking about that.
We ain't
I
talking
promise
about
you,
chunky.
I'm not talking about a little chunky. You know. So
We
again,
talking
I agree. I think it does cut off
Tasha,
a segment of women that could
add Bert to that.
might be beautiful, but I just that is what I'm gonna cut off. So I'm a hold out to at least find something that I like. I guess.
So if I get fat, are we still gonna be together?
Anyway, y'all.
He ain't gonna let you get fat. He ain't gonna let you get fat.
Answer the question, be wet. Answer the question.
His answer is he's not gonna let her get fat.
I won't allow her to even get that big.
I'm bigger than we first.
That's what I say. He's not gonna let you get fat.
I ain't gonna let you
I'm
get like
big
that.
now.
Girl,
He trust and believe and that's the thing, when you're in that relationship, and it goes both ways.
But you see,
I truly believe as I end this show, I truly believe if I had been in a stable relationship over the last 10 years, I honestly believe, I'm being serious as a heart attack, I don't believe I would be this big.
You height shaming.
Because you know what happens when you are in a relationship? I don't even believe that I would be this big if I lived in the same city as Tasha.
Yeah.
And I'm being serious. I don't believe I would even be this unhealthy if I lived in the same city as Tasha.
Okay.
I don't think her as my friend,
She would have helped you.
knowing her, if she saw me going in that direction, I know her well enough that she'd walk in. I'm throwing this away. I'm throwing that away. You can't have this, that. When you, no, on a serious note, I'm ending on a serious note. When you have somebody who love you and care about your health, so to answer that question, I don't believe I would be this unhealthy. I think being this big is definitely a product of not being in a relationship for close to 10 years. I truly, truly believe that, because even when you're with somebody, there's an effort you're going to put forward to keep yourself in shape because you're dealing with them and because I've settled into this life. And again, the 10 years, people think 10 years, you say 10, oh my God, it doesn't happen overnight. And the weight doesn't come on overnight. And
Right.
the not dating doesn't happen overnight.
You're right.
It's a slow process where you think to yourself, okay, I ain't dated nobody in a year or two. That's no big deal. And then you're involved in this, that, and the other. And then you look up and, man, I've kind of fucked with some people over this last couple of years, but nothing was serious. Like Kenny said, nothing consistent. When you look up, folks, and then you assess that, oh my God, it's been 9.5 years.
Yeah, tops.
Oh my God. It doesn't happen overnight. And this weight, I can remember like yesterday, I moved to Atlanta on March 1st. I can remember like it was yesterday. I could still play basketball. When I first got there, I was excited. I was hitting the streets at night like a serial killer, hunting these bitches down.
What? Not a serial killer.
Hunting these bitches down in the middle of the night. I had new hunting ground. I was a serial killer that had left Memphis and I had new hunting ground. And I was out almost every night. I used to drink every night. I used to make my daiquiris and drink every night. And then what happens is over time, it's a 15 pounds here. It's a 20 pounds there. It's another 7 pounds. It's a lose 15 and a gain 22. It's that game you play. And then all of a sudden you get diagnosed with diabetes, and then you have to learn how to eat all over again. Because what you used to be able to eat, your body rejects now. And I'm just talking about the aesthetic part of it. But even socially, when I first came, Tasha could tell you, I used to club, right, Tasha?
Mm-hmm.
I went to clubs. When I first moved here, I was kicking it. I was out at grown folks. I'm telling you, I was clubbing, meeting people. But then you get to a point where you outgrow the club scene because now you're looking for something different. And so you stop being as active. And where I was in Memphis, where me and Tasha used to go down the Riverside Drive and we used to walk and do this and that. And I had friends that we would go walking on the track. I have no family and no friends here. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And you wake up one day and you look in the mirror and you just don't like what you see. And I'm not talking about just aesthetically. That how did I get to this place where I don't have no friends, I don't have no family, I don't go out, I don't go to any events, and you say to yourself, in one sense, I'm doing better than I've ever done. This is the nicest apartment I've ever lived in. I make decent salary. I got savings. I have a car that can get me anywhere I want to go. I have no children. I have all the freedom in the world. I work a job that I'm off every weekend. So how did I get to a place where when the weekend hits, I have nothing to do? So it's a combination of things. The pandemic hits and you're working from home, because even when I was traveling, I was 50 pounds lighter than I am now. So it doesn't happen overnight. I promise you,
Sure.
So anyway, that's why I said this is part one of a conversation I definitely want to continue to have, because this is the summer of Lee. I want to end it on a positive note. I have made a decision. That's why y'all don't see me doing this many TikTok videos, because I just so happen to be in the busiest time professionally. My quarter start for July is the busiest ever, and I'm running a team because my boss is gone. But I promise you, when I get past July 8th, that's why we're taking the month of July off, because I realize I'm going to be getting out more. I love taking a train. I want to meet people. And on a serious note, Tasha, on God, hand to God, if I met a woman that's heavy and we clicked, I'm open to it. I'm some of the shit I'm saying, I'm just, being honest with you. I would love to just meet somebody, honestly, that it could be a situationship or relationship, long distance. I just want to meet somebody nice who gets me and I'm attracted to them. In more ways. I still hope she has a fat ass. That ain't gonna change, but I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit on that. And so again, this is the summer of Lee, y'all.
I
This is
like
the
that.
this is the summer of Lee. I'm trying to do some things differently and get out. I realize I'm not as happy as I should be. And when you consider that young people are having strokes, I
Woo.
had another friend of mine found out this week, was 36 years old, had a heart attack. 36. 36. You realize time is precious. And again, this is the summer of Lee. So this is part one of the conversation. I want to end it right here. Look, thank you guys for showing up. And the good part about it is the energy level I'm at right now. We on the up, Tasha and y'all, we on the other side of hump day.
Right.
Yes, we
You
are.
know,
You are.
so yeah, I'm a little tired, but yeah, we're on the other side. And this is payday coming up Friday. So, you know, yes indeed.
Y'all got
That is,
to chill.
that is
Yes
You and
indeed.
cheek checker.
Hey, so anyway,
creepy for
I
me.
am
Yeah.
open. I'm
Freak
open.
squad.
And
We
up to
and we
it.
have got to get together and see each other in real time, so
Yeah.
that again, there's a lot of life left to live. So who knows? I'm wide open. The possibilities are there. I thank you guys for the tips you gave me, and I'm going to work on myself to do better. So I'm gonna do it. So Carol, a grown woman, says, "Have a good evening, everyone. See you all next week. Hopefully, absolutely. I want everybody to
Yeah.
have a great evening as well. Be good to yourselves, as always. Good to each other. Peace out."
Yo.